Okay, let's unpack this. Just imagine for a second, you've been traveling for hours, you finally get to your vacation spot and you walk up to the front desk. But instead of a welcome drink, you're met with a 30-minute queue. Then, you finally get to your room, you try to order something simple like a bucket of ice, and suddenly you're calling, you're on hold, you're explaining it again to a manager. It's a whole thing.
That whole scenario is what we call operational friction.
Yeah.
It's the central problem. The hospitality industry, it sells this idea of relaxation, a seamless experience.
Right.
But behind the scenes, the systems running the hotel are often fragmented, they're siloed, and just intensely manual. And that friction, it doesn't just annoy you, the guest.
No.
It completely drains the staff. It leads to huge inefficiencies and, costly mistakes.
Absolutely. And today we're diving deep into a system called Hotel Genius, which is basically campaigning to fix exactly that. Their whole promise is to transform independent hotels, small chains, the properties that usually lag behind the big brands, and turn them into intelligent, connected ecosystems.
And what's really fascinating about Hotel Genius is the ambition. I mean, this isn't just another booking engine or, a simple chatbot.
It's way more.
Their core mission is all about democratizing access to enterprise-grade AI. They're making this powerful tech, which was previously just for massive global chains, both affordable and easy to deploy for smaller hotels. They want to be the central nervous system for hospitality, worldwide.
So that really sets our mission for this deep dive. We need to get past the marketing language and look at the specific, quantifiable problems they're tackling. We'll dig into the technology that underpins the whole solution and the measurable impact they claim to deliver for both the business owner and, well, for you, the person actually checking in. Let's start by defining those painful friction points they're trying to eliminate. Okay, so before we even get to the AI solutions, we really have to understand the fundamental challenges. I mean, if the promise is to unify the whole experience, what were the major pain points? What was causing all this fragmentation?
The source material lays out 4 pretty clear structural gaps that when you combine them just create chaos. And they all boil down to a simple inability of different hotel departments to talk to each other seamlessly.
Give us the inventory of pain.
Okay, first up, dispersed communications. This is the most basic failure. A guest has a request, let's say, I need extra towels, and it gets logged on a sticky note.
Or a WhatsApp group.
Or a staff WhatsApp group, exactly. But it never makes it into a central system for tracking. The result, information gets lost, follow-up is incomplete, and you get a frustrated guest.
That's the classic disconnect, right? The front of house has no idea what the back of house is doing.
Precisely. And that leads to number 2, manual overload. This is where the hotels are just hemorrhaging money. Hotel Genius actually did some surveys that found over 80% of hotel professionals lose at least 2 hours a day.
2 hours daily.
Per person, just on manual coordination. They're constantly switching between systems, logging a repair, assigning the task, checking inventory. It's an efficiency killer. It just burns out the staff.
That metric is staggering. I mean, 2 hours a day. Scale that across a team of 50. That's thousands of wasted hours every year. So if the old legacy systems were so powerful, why did they let this happen?
Because those legacy systems were designed as, well, data storage tools, not as communication or, more importantly, resolution tools. They weren't focused on the workflow. And this brings us right to the third gap, impersonal experiences. If your systems don't talk to each other, you lose the ability to build a profile of a guest.
I see.
So if you stayed last year and asked for feather-free pillows, and the front desk has no record of that, personalization just vanishes, and so does loyalty.
Which is absolutely devastating in today's experience-driven economy.
And then there's the final one, gap number 4, language barriers. I mean, for international travel, just managing multilingual communication every single day is a huge hurdle. It creates ambiguity in requests, it slows down problem solving, and puts so much stress on the frontline teams. So Hotel Genius was built to bridge these 4 massive divides.
Okay, so this is where we shift to the solution. How does this unified AI platform actually change the journey for the guest? The promise sounds huge, total seamless control.
The big conceptual shift here is moving the goal from just logging a request to something they call first contact problem resolution. The AI isn't just there to take a message, it's designed to resolve 80% of guest issues instantly. Right at the first point of contact.
80% resolution. That is a really aggressive target. What happens to the other 20%? I mean, what are the edge cases the AI might struggle with that could end up frustrating the guest even more?
Well, that 80% figure covers the high volume, repetitive, but still crucial tasks. Things like answering FAQs about restaurant hours, fulfilling simple requests for towels, booking a standard spa service.
The basics.
Exactly. The core engine for this is the AI Concierge, which provides instant support in over 100 languages. So that multilingual capability immediately solves that fourth gap we talked about.
So the AI handles the mundane stuff, the volume, which is key. But what about that last 20%?
That's the critical design choice.
Yeah.
They made sure personalization isn't just thrown out. For complex, high-priority issues like a plumbing emergency, a complicated billing dispute, the system has a dedicated guest relations chat. It's like an efficient, real-time handoff to a human team member who gets the full history of the conversation. So the staff is freed up to focus only on those high-value, high-touch interactions.
That makes a lot of sense. It sort of separates transactional service from genuine hospitality.
Yeah.
Let's use the example from the source material, the Mueller family case study, because I think that really makes this concrete. Walk us through it, the traditional nightmare versus the intelligent experience.
Yeah, the contrast is everything here. So in the old fragmented system, the Mueller family's experience is negative from the moment they arrive. They face that 45-minute check-in line.
Right.
Their request for a crib, that critical detail, it's lost. Why? Because the reservation system doesn't talk to housekeeping. When they need room service, it's a bunch of frustrating phone calls. And checkout is just this stressful paper shuffle. The emotional cost of that fragmentation is just huge.
So they start their vacation exhausted and they end it stressed out.
Precisely.
Yeah.
No, under the Hotel Genius system, all that friction is just gone. They pre-check in on the mobile app, they confirm the crib request digitally, and they get their mobile key while they're still in the taxi.
So they just bypass the front desk completely?
They bypass it entirely. And every interaction after that, ordering a drink, requesting maintenance, it's a digitized one-click request that's instantly routed and tracked in real time.
So the guest is now in control, and the service orders aren't just logged somewhere, they're visible. You can track them. That's the difference.
That is the aha moment. The tech transforms that feeling of waiting and hoping into instant visibility and guaranteed resolution. It fundamentally alters how you perceive the quality of your stay.
Okay, the relief for the guest is palpable, but the pressure reduction for the staff must be immense if 80% of routine stuff is being handled digitally. What are the specific tools on the back end that make this happen? And what's the measurable ROI for the hotels?
For the hotel team, the main weapon against all that fragmentation is the 360-degree unified dashboard. This is where staff spend their day, and it's designed specifically to eliminate that context switching, that 2-hour-a-day killer we were talking about.
So what does that centralization actually look like on the dashboard?
It brings everything into one place. Real-time guest requests, internal staff assignments, key performance indicators for how fast services are delivered, and, this is crucial, a complete communication log. So if a maintenance worker takes over an issue that was started by the AI, they have the full history, instantly. They're not starting from zero.
And how does the work get assigned? Is it still a human supervisor routing all the tasks?
No, and that's where the intelligence really comes in. The system uses automated task management to intelligently route both guest and internal tasks. A leaky faucet request, for example, goes directly to the right maintenance tech who is free and closes that room. It's all dynamic.
That sounds great, but a lot of these independent hotels are running on, decades-old, clunky legacy systems, stuff like Oracle Opera or Muse. How does Hotel Genius avoid just becoming another silo itself?
That's a critical point, and they seem to have solved it. It avoids creating new silos by providing seamless integration. It has native connectors for the major legacy systems, including Oracle Opera and Muse. This is essential for the hotel owner. It means Hotel Genius can pull data like room status and billing without forcing them to do a full, very costly rip and replace of their existing backbone.
All right, let's get to the numbers, the quantifiable impact. The cold, hard metrics that drive these decisions. What's the measured return on investment here?
The dual impact value they report is very strong. On the guest side, they're seeing a 70% reduction in guest wait times.
70%, wow.
And on the operational side, eliminating all that manual work drives a 30% increase in staff efficiency. And this directly correlates to a 15% improvement in guest satisfaction scores.
A 15% jump in satisfaction is massive. I mean, that translates directly into better online reviews, higher occupancy, more loyalty.
Absolutely. And the system also makes sure that increase translates into direct revenue. It opens up new revenue streams by allowing for really personalized upselling. Because the AI understands the guest's profile, it can deliver these perfectly timed, targeted offers, like a late checkout for a family that checked in late, or a specific food and beverage promotion.
And their proof of concept, it backs up this claim about speed.
It does. One independent client confirmed that in the very first month, front desk requests, the ones that eat up human time, were reduced by over 60%. And on top of that, staff were resolving issues 3 to 5 times faster than before. That speed, that defines the new competitive edge.
This really shows that Hotel Genius isn't just selling, a shiny new app. They're positioning themselves as a fundamental operational layer, and they're challenging that fragmented landscape. So how do they explicitly define their niche?
They define it by what they don't do and where they excel. They aren't trying to replace those legacy back-end PMS systems, but they are dramatically simplifying the guest-facing experience.
You mentioned deployment speed earlier. You said they claim they can deploy in just 2 weeks, while the industry standard is, 3 to 6 months? How is that even possible?
That speed is directly tied to their modern cloud-native architecture. It's a massive strategic advantage. Unlike those huge on-premise deployments, Hotel Genius uses a modular API-first approach that just makes integration much faster. So yeah, the state deployment takes only 2 weeks, which minimizes disruption and risk for the hotel owner.
Okay, that brings us to the technical details our audience loves. For the learner who wants to peek under the hood, what's the core architecture running this whole system?
It's a pretty cutting-edge stack, really built for performance and continuous learning. The power behind that 80% resolution rate and the 100+ languages, that comes from their AI engine. It uses sophisticated transformer-based models for natural language processing and understanding, or NLP/NLU.
Okay, for those of us who aren't familiar with that jargon, what does transformer-based models actually mean in practical terms for the hotel?
It means the AI is using the same kind of deep learning architecture that powers all the major modern language systems today. It allows this system to not just recognize keywords, but to truly understand the context and the intent of a complex request. Regardless of the language or the dialect someone uses, that accuracy is absolutely key to hitting that 80% resolution target.
And how do they make sure that AI keeps learning and getting better?
That's managed through MLOps. You can think of MLOps as sort of like DevOps, but for machine learning. It's a set of practices that ensures the AI models are continuously trained, deployed, and monitored in a live environment. So as the system handles more requests in, say, Greek or Arabic, it automatically refines its understanding and its routing, just getting smarter over time.
So the speed is in the front end, but the real learning is happening in the background. What about the back-end data structure?
The back end is all built for real-time performance. They use Supabase, which provides real-time PostgreSQL database capabilities, and they combine that with serverless edge functions. This architecture just ensures requests are processed as quickly as possible no matter where the guest is located, which is critical for a global service.
And let's just touch on security, because that's paramount when you're handling guest data. The sources listed a few complex terms. Why do those specific protocols matter to a hotel owner?
They matter because they build trust and they ensure compliance. So they use robust protocols like OAuth 2.0 OIDC for secure authorization, which just means their access controls are modern and strong. This is reinforced with AES 256 encryption for all the data and a web application firewall, or WAF.
Or the WF.
The WF basically acts as a shield. It protects the platform from common web-based attacks. So for the hotel owner, having these things listed means they can trust the system with sensitive guest PII, billing info, and it ensures they're compliant with international data standards.
So what we're really looking at is enterprise-grade tech being delivered to the smaller player. Who exactly is the target market for this?
The focus is very targeted. It's independent 3 to 5 star properties, usually in that 50 to 200 room size range. Geographically, they started in high-growth tourism markets in North Africa, specifically Tunisia, Morocco, and Egypt, and now they're expanding into the Mediterranean. They're targeting markets like Turkey, Malta, and Greece. They estimate a serviceable market of about 4,500 properties just in those regions alone.
This whole deep dive really underscores a major shift, that sophisticated AI is moving beyond just the massive corporate giants. It's becoming a tool that democratizes efficiency and personalization for these smaller independent hotels. It helps them match or maybe even exceed the service quality of the big chains?
Absolutely. The transformation here is conceptual. This technology turns hotels from being reactive service providers, constantly fighting fires and chasing misplaced requests, into truly proactive experience creators. By successfully automating 80% of that routine noise, the human staff can then focus on building loyalty and driving profit by making the other 20% of interactions genuinely personalized and high value.
That structural shift brings up a really fascinating final thought for you to mull over. If an AI concierge can handle the bulk of all these transactional requests and even anticipate needs through data freeing up the human team completely, how will the job description of a traditional front desk agent or a guest relations manager fundamentally change in the next few years? Will the high-value, human-only tasks, those true moments of exceptional hospitality, become so elevated that they completely redefine what we consider five-star luxury service? That's the future we're watching unfold as the AI takes the load.